Okay. Oops. There we go. So, we're looking at a TvZ. Between the top left, we have Fever's Bean. And the bottom right, we have some nub. Heartland Hitman's Evertras. Who is that bastard? So, it's a TvZ. I just recently played on ladder. It went pretty well. Would go better if I actually put it on the right speed. Went pretty well, I think. I'm actually going to be fairly critical of myself in this, just because I don't want to be like, haha, I'm so awesome. But I think I did some things right, and there are some things where, in my head, when I'm playing, it feels absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure everyone's kind of had this moment with themselves of, oh yeah, that drop was so great, I made his army run all over the place. And you look back and you have like 2,000 minerals in the bank, and you just have Ultralisk running over pretty much everything you have. So, I tried some new things, specifically drop play, spoiler alert. Something I'm not all that fantastic at, and I just wanted to try and get a feel for how to do it better. And a lot of it was actually, I really rethought my reasoning for doing what I do when I get Terran against Zerg. And this was random. I still do play random on ladder. So, I was going for a pretty standard opening. Gaslix, 1 racks, fast expand. This drone, by the way, slightly missed the mark on that. Zerg, meanwhile, will open the production tab for me because I missed it. Thank you, Zerg. Probably going hatch first, a very late hatch first. 16 hatch. So going into a bit of a macro game. The skin, by the way, is... I like it. I am very jealous. See if we can remember how to... Nope, that is not. Ah, there we go. I'm learning a camera trick. Aren't you all proud? Yeah, look at that. I believe that's the level 30 Zerg skin. Okay, now that I've set it from normal to faster for the 8th time, getting a bit of a scout on. See the hatch first. Know that there's no early crazy shenanigans. Everything's super standard. But here's where things got a little weird, from my point of view at least. So scouting around, this one time in band camp, I saw gas. Really early gas. And usually that means some kind of an early bust, either roaches or a baneling bust. So at the start I'm really wary of that sort of attack. So I'm curious how much that hurt me, if I got too wary or if I had the appropriate response. That's one thing I'm going to be looking for. Again, I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm awesome. I want to actually look at things that I'm doing not intelligently, because this is a platinum level game, and there is so much for me to improve on. So it looks like he did stop after getting enough for speed and a little extra change. Might have been thinking about it or just kind of lost track. Does want that early speed. It is great for early map control. Set this SCV out to watch for the 3rd, because that is kind of the big tell. And if I have 2 bases as Terran against a 2-base Zerg, I actually feel pretty good about that. Got some Zerglings coming up. They're scouting out because he doesn't actually know pretty much anything of what I'm doing. Does poke up, sees some Marines, does not see the command center. So that actually might be a little scary for him. We actually might have scared each other both a little bit, because he did build a spine crawler right in his mineral line, which is usually a signal of I want to drone. I don't want to get cut off by Marines, because small amounts of Marines will just not take down a spine crawler and a queen and some drones protecting it. Alright, getting that gas again. See what he uses it for. Still no third, which I'm seeing very happily with this SCV. But that also kind of scares me because again, that early gas, I think I did overreact because I did this command center could have been here for so long. And it is pumping out SCVs, which is nice. It is muling, which is nice, but it's eating up these minerals when I could have been muling these minerals and getting more saturation out. And once I got that mine out, I was finally kind of happy with where I was at defensive-wise. Finally takes out that SCV because he saw that with his overlords. And that kind of leaves me blind on third base. So I can't really see what he's doing there without an actual scan. Could maybe make a Reaper, but Speedlings in open ground will chase down a Reaper pretty quick. So at this point, I saw the early gas. I keep having this idea that he's going to rush me, he's going to rush me, he's going to rush me. And he is building actually a reasonable amount of units. And by reasonable, I mean kind of that middle ground of basically, if I suddenly pop out with some Marines somewhere, he'll have enough links to buy some time, but he won't stop it. But at the same time, he can't really put on pressure with this. Again, one of the things I'm struggling with as Terran is actually getting... hey, Zulus. Is actually getting more awareness on the map. And I really should have Hellions for that, because Hellions would just go nuts with this. But I was just so afraid of that early attack, and Roaches would have just wrecked my world, as they have in the past. So I got this base up and running. He is making some Banelings. Which, by the way, I'm going to totally hype this up. I have the most pro split micro in the world. Just going to let that sit there. It's pretty epic. You're gonna love this. Anyway, speaking of splits, I did split up here. Splitting Marines it seems like one of those things you need to be able to do kind of on the spot, and so I'm trying to build up a little muscle memory with it. I've been trying some. I've tried the Baneling split trainer, where it's just, oh god, Baneling's running at you. But my problem with it is I actually don't know how to physically do it. Like, I just kind of wave the mouse at things and hope some voodoo happens, because that's pretty much what it looks like whenever I see anyone else do it. So one day I'll learn. If anyone knows any good tutorial videos of how to actually split, not just demonstrations of the Baneling split trainer, that would be fantastic. Like, actual mouse movements, like, do you do this, do you do this, do you take slices like this, and how do you do it so freaking fast that I see everyone else do? So I think at some point I'm just going to sit down and practice that for a while. Anyway, so you have two bases coming down at once for the Zerg. So Zerg is double expanding. Zerg has finally said, oh, you're not actually trying to murder me, and I'm pretty safe on two bases. Okay, I'll get two bases on top of that. Did I actually start an expansion at this point? I did not. I am, however, ahead in supply, which is nice. And by nice, I mean kind of in the that's adorable way, because I can't actually do anything with it right now. Because all those lings will delay a push enough and do enough damage to it from what I have right now. But here's where I'm starting the drops. This first drop was just kind of a, hey, let me try dropping and just see how it goes. Saw Banelings here. Look at that pro split. Yeah, they moved like 2 inches to the left. By inches, I mean like actual Marine inches, not inches on the screen. Like they tiptoed over a bit. So they run back in here. My money, by the way, is going horrendously up. By the way, the new fungal, I adore the new fungal. It is absolutely fantastic. Pro tip, do not leave, do not that. Do not that. They just kind of sat on the spore crawler. I am getting up a third, though. Sealed myself in with the rocks here. And I have a very, very difficult to assault front. These missile turrets were completely blind. I'm not really proud of that. but better safe than sorry, for now. As I get better, move up the... especially as I improve my scouting, which I think is something I'm lacking in. Alright, I have gotten my money back down. Let's, I'm actually ahead in Harvesters as well, which is a great place to be as Terran. You can see Bean has not really saturated this base, or this base. He has a ton of units out right now, but these units aren't really accomplishing much. They could be accomplishing map control, which would allow him to drone and saturate those bases, but he's not actually doing that, which I think is a bit of a mistake. So I made a Viking, and Viking, to get out there, because I didn't see any Mutalists, and I figured, alright, well he's got all these Overlords out here that spotted the first drop. Basically just free Overlord hunting. And I actually did not check how many kills he got, I just kind of sent him off blind, and just did a shift-click all over the place. So 3 kills on that Viking. So I've always been kind of a proponent of just build a Viking. I'm glad to see that actually worked out about how I had hoped it would. So again, just looking at some things that I did that felt good, but I'm not sure if they were good, and some things that felt terrible, but I'm not sure how terrible they were. So Viking that was a winner. I'm going to be doing that again. Lots of infestors here. But going back to the fungal, I am a huge fan of the new fungal, because it allows actual micro from the other player, which is what the original fungal was lacking. And having been on both ends of it, it feels fair. Like if my stuff gets fungled, I don't go, oh, well, GG. It's more like, oh man, I goofed that up. I could have, actually been more active with that. And it doesn't just instant stop drops. So drops, because of the weaker fungal, because of the Ignite Afterburners, are just so much better. So I'm trying a kind of split Doom drop here. 2 medevacs that way, 3 medevacs that way, all full of Marines. By the way, I have 1-1, about to finish 2-2. And by 2-2 I mean 2. Apparently I did not get the armor yet. He is getting Mutalisk, also has Hive Tech, but I don't think he's actually using it yet. So the trick with this is, I saw that he saw this. Or at least I'm assuming that he saw that. That Viking is... You had one job, Viking. So actually, I'm going to slow down just a little bit. See, he saw that, so his entire army is moving here, and I kind of counted on that. So I could drop here, and basically just be completely free to do whatever down here. Does switch gears, but then I just drop here. So between the Afterburners and did take out 1 medevac from something. Might have been that Spore Crawler. Spore Crawler is my nemesis. But this drop is doing so much damage. Oh, it's brutal. This drop did get cleaned up. Ambitious Viking. And by cleaned up, I mean it came over here and killed more stuff. But see, this is what I'm talking about. This fungal, to me, feels completely fair. I just dropped out in the middle, I clumped up everything. It was fair to me. And that was reasonable. This drop is still just wrecking havoc. And if you look at the Zerg's macro, that slipped actually quite a bit. So actually, I think at this point, the rest of the game is kind of a formality. Which in the game, I did not quite realize. He is redroning, but yeah, he has 40 drones right now He's about to get some to pop in. The Mutalisks don't really have any angle to come in here. They will take out this base, which is kind of annoying, but I got this base about to be up and running. And after I know that I've pinned him down as much as I have, I'm not... I mean, this sucks, but oh well. Not a huge deal. Lots of Banelings. By the way, the split is totally coming up. Also, this amount of Infestors really isn't as good as it used to be. And a Baneling... oh well. So I ran in here because I saw the entire army down there, so I just wanted to come in here and snipe this base and get out. That was the idea. Alright, you ready for this? We're gonna do slow motion. Yeah, look at that split. Oh, look at that split. Oh, it's so beautiful. It takes like an hour for me to do. But to be fair, once it's done, I actually survived that. And all those infestors just really have no support anymore. And again, that fungal feels fair, because I was right on top of them, so it's cool. I love the new fungal. Okay, and at this point I can produce 17 Marines at a time, which is kind of fun. Lots of reactors. Fun, fun. Front is fairly unassailable. Widow mines, tanks, and all the produced Marines. My biggest problem as Terran has always been, how do I attack? And this game was kind of experimenting a bit, and that went pretty well. And again, I almost just kind of want to stop the game now, because honestly, look at the supplies. It's basically a formality, but why not? So these Marines did not get the memo to get the hell out of there. These two did, but fungal and all that's going to go down. So it's a ding, we'll call it, but really not anything too bad. Again, he's not rejourning behind this. He has almost no income. Alright, I'm going to fast forward just a bit. Again, in the game, I had killed this base, and I knew about this base, but I had kind of assumed it was going to get droned up again. Trying more drops. And he does know about this base, obviously, as he's moving towards it. But a planetary, even with Ultralisk, as long as I get those SCVs up there quick and out of the fungals. And by out of the fungals, I mean I get completely fungaled. So slightly painful, but planetary stands, enough SCVs stand that I don't really care. And they're practically sacrificial at this point. I dropped here expecting a base. Did not find one. Oh, by the way, that... Oh, that's so beautiful. Sorry, even after playing Zerg, I have extra bitterness towards fungals. So he's trying to take a base down here, but he just doesn't have the drones. He needs drones. He needs to saturate the bases that he already has before taking new ones. And drops, again, just running him around. Ultras cannot be everywhere at once. So he can't really take this base. I don't know if I knew about this base. Nope, not yet. So he's going to take out these, which is kind of a moral victory, but I am maxed out, and he's under 100. So again, this is... The game has been over for a while. This is kind of... There's actually a signature I saw on the Team Liquid forums that always makes me happy. And it said that TVP isn't imbalanced. The Terran dies, and there's just a 5-minute death animation. And that's kind of what's going on here. And again, just coming in here, and yeah, he has got nothing. GG, drops OP. And I think the drops early on definitely helped. I don't know if that was the sole thing that won the game, but I was very pleased with how they worked out. So that is that. So things to take away from my end. I need to figure out how to scout a little better. I should really make Hellions at the start out of that factory. I was so afraid of something that I was like, oh god, Widow Mines, that will blow up everything. Wasn't really necessary. Because what he was doing, I misread it, and assuming is like the worst thing you can do. So what I needed to do was kind of realize that, oh hey, he's getting gas early, but he's just doing it for speed. Oh, and he had just put it back on, right as I went to that point. Or did he? You know what? Oh, he just started putting them on. Whatever. Anyway. So anyway, things to take away. I need to absolutely scout more. Um, I need to have a bit more map presence. I was actually pretty happy with how much pressure I was putting on after the initial. Oh God, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. What is he doing? Ah. And yeah, if I had known he had taken that off gas, I could have been much more at ease. I could have moved this down earlier. I could have gotten out some Hellions, gotten some map control off the Zerglings, because I would have known it was Zerglings, just because it was just speed, it was not gas for roaches. No Banelings as well. Not even a Baneling nest. Which has always been a fear of every Terran. Goddamn Banelings. Aside from that, drops pretty good. Oh, I did want to talk a little bit about the reasoning behind the drops. If anyone's even still listening at this point on the YouTubes, I have the stream as a captive audience. The decision behind the drops was that I didn't see Mutalisk, and I scanned and saw an infestation pit. And usually what that means at this point is a lot of swarm hosts. And swarm hosts are absolutely fantastic at containing you and sieging up whatever base you have. They're terrible at defending against drops. So I thought to myself, well, okay, he's going swarm hosts. And he didn't make any swarm hosts, he just made infestors. Though that is also kind of the same fungals, because fungals are not as good at stopping drops as they used to be. Especially a medevac with speed boosters, it's like trying to swat a gnat with a sledgehammer. You're just not going to do it. So that, I think, was the right line of reasoning, and it ran him ragged because he did not have the Mutalisks to clean it up until much later. And by the time he got those Mutalisks, I think he was far enough behind that I was expanding so much behind this that I just had this constantly maxed force that he had to deal with. And there were definitely things he could have done better as well. For one, he started losing drones and did not replenish them. Did not retake those bases, and when he did retake the bases, he was just not saturated on anything. So, fun game. GG. Bean is a cool guy. And good luck in the future. Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording here and hopefully get a pizza soon. Yeah, pizza.